Hey guys, Frank Games, and today we're going to be talking about VR, the pros and cons, and stuff like that. In the second, there's going to be a probably trash intro. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, that intro wasn't very good. I've worked on it in Share Factory, but yep, today, as I said, we're talking about VR, the pros and the cons. Obviously, the pros is 360 degrees, looking around, freedom. Probably not 360 degrees because you would break your neck and die. But yeah, you've got lots of freedom to move around. Your hands are your hands. Well, with controllers, of course, but still. Sorry, just bit into an apple. It's Frankie Games channel. What do you expect it to be? The Frankie channel. There is a channel called Frankie, unless okay. There's the pro of being free, very free. The con is it can easily glitch. If you've seen my Vader Immortal video, games are so much glitchier in VR because of that freedom. Games designers don't expect you to be able to move everywhere. That's why in controller games they can restrict you a lot. Some people do like these glitches, but lots of the time they are a hassle. Like the funny one where the robot couldn't climb properly in my Vader Immortal video, that's a funny bug. But when I glitched through a wall and I had to reset my screen position to fix it, that's a bit of a annoying bug, and it's going to get better over time. We've only had mainstream VR now for 4 years, and we've gone from low quality, much more low quality games. Not saying Job Simulator is a bad game, because it's not, but we've gone from Job Simulator to Half-Life Alyx and Boneworks, not available on PlayStation VR, because the VR is split into 3 parts. There's the hopefully now dead part of the phone VR market, which is you put your phone in a bit of cardboard. The reason, if you have played this VR on a cardboard VR and you did not enjoy it, that is not what VR is. VR is so much more, like even playing on a PlayStation VR is better than a phone VR. And then there's the PlayStation VR, which is one camera in front of you. So yeah, you can't turn around 360, it's only 180 degrees. Which is quite restricted, and it's very annoying if you're in a very immersive game and you need to look behind you. Another problem with PlayStation VR is where it's a PlayStation, you can't really have mods, can you? That's literally, if PlayStations had mods, they would be above Xbox for sure. Apple Bite 2. Yum. Okay. And the third type of VR is inside out tracking and full out camera systems, like wall mounted or tripod mounted. These are the best forms of VR. HTC Vive, Oculus Quest, Valve Index, which I want. Yeah, they're very much more high quality than a PlayStation VR, and especially a cardboard VR ever could be, unless PlayStation does allow like wall mounted and stuff cameras, because currently that 180 degrees of freedom is so annoying. Putting your hands like slightly out of the way ruins it, or walking forward you get out of camera, and especially if you have a small room, this is even worse. So yeah, that's a con. Another pro is if you're in a VR game and you have the pro of it being in VR is it's very immersive. If you're in a game like Skyrim, when it actually works in VR, because they were rushed out. If they released Skyrim today in VR, it would probably be amazing. But yeah, currently it's not that good. So if Skyrim was in VR right now, and you walked past a river in VR and just had great headphones, that is immersion. You feel like you're flipping in, I don't know, heaven thingamajig caravan park. Especially when the capabilities of VR is so high. So if you had something like a haptic suit and haptic gloves, and you could just feel the pitter patter of rain all over you because there's small quick vibrations that you're just like, whoa. Yeah, especially like social games like Drunken Bar Fight or sports bars in VR. People have only started to realise how social VR is in the pandemic, because people are going on VR chat, having a great time. I want VR chat. Rec Room is worse because you can't do as much. It's a lot more restricted because it's a beta. But if we had VR chat on PlayStation, I would love it. I have watched so many videos on this topic. Yeah, VR is very social, especially like sports bars. Imagine going in VR with a Valve Index controller and playing darts with your friends, or playing pool, or even like fake swimming, especially with a haptic suit. Half of your body's vibrating every time you swim. That would be amazing. And that's a pro, an amazing pro, how immersive and social VR can be. But a big con, and a very big con, is this is for only some people like me, but recording. VR recording, it's very, very awkward unless you have a PC VR and the right tools. On PlayStation, my VR video, if you look at the home screen of Vader Immortal, I could see all the buttons and space around it, but you could only see like 2 buttons on the screen and a bunch of empty space. But I could see the buttons just fine, and that's a big problem because, of course, VR on the TV and in the actual headset is very different, and this is a problem which, of course, is going to get better, but hopefully we can perfect it, and PlayStation VR will be able to have stuff like that. You have an avatar for yourself and you play stuff like Beat Saber and stuff. Like my Beat Saber videos, it looks like I'm just wailing around in the air. Slapped my leg then, don't know why. Yeah, that's a big con for content creators like myself, because it kind of discourages you from making VR videos because you want to make good ones. So if you're only on a PlayStation, you can't even make good videos really, and doing it in VR is just a massive downgrade because you want to get the best content possible. Because I only have like 73 subscribers, which is really good. I gained 5 subscribers in 2 weeks. I guess daily uploads really does help, and especially has helped because my impressions was 1,000 last week. Now it's 2,000. So yes, daily uploads I will continue with. So for a content creator such as myself, that is a big downside. Unless you are a big content creator, then you can probably get away with a lower quality video if it means you have very entertaining personality. But my channel isn't really at that point, and I've only got like a £30 headset, so it doesn't sound as good as a Blue Yeti plus a PlayStation Pulse 3D headphones. I couldn't think of any other name, so I just stole the unreleased PS5 headphones. Okay. Pros. This is a big pro, and that is, the pro is the same as the con. It's content creation. If you've watched VR videos like I have, they are fun. People like Josh Stubb, Mully, of course, when the YouTubers do get more subscribers, their quality can decrease because they're a lot more tight on what they can say without getting the Karens going wild. But yeah, VR content is doing really well. I really recommend that you do watch this YouTuber called Thrill Seeker. He does VR news every Tuesday, and he has very funny meme breaks. Hashtag free meme break. That is the new hashtag in this video's comments. And yes, we stand. No, we don't stand for Breaker, but especially in the comedy, people like Drumsy, Josh Dub, Mally, all of the boys in that group, and it was very funny how the group called the E-Boys started around the same time as the boys. So now when you look one up, you get the other, yes, and so on. So VR YouTube content is amazing. That's why lots of people do it. There is a con to it though. Sometimes it can be lower quality, and it does require lots of editing because again, all the glitches and stuff. Basically, it's the pros and cons molding together. Yeah, as I said, YouTube VR content is growing highly. Not talking about the crappy roller coasters, the awful VR experience. I'm talking about people buying VR headsets because they see games like Paylov, comedy videos like the boys should keep doing because they were funny when you'd blow up kids' heads, but now they can't because VR chat takes a lot less work, and that's annoying because if you want to make VR videos, they do require lots of editing, aka text on the screen, massive cuts, preparation for stuff, and it's a lot easier in a game like VR chat or Rec Room where you can just prepare a scene then start shooting. But yeah, there is still a problem. And VR content on YouTube, you have to have seen a clip from a VR content creator and enjoyed it. There is one big con, and that's it hasn't grown enough. You won't be seeing stuff like the new Call of Duty game is having a exclusive VR release. No, you'll never see that. You won't even probably see a VR compatible release for multiple years now. Resident Evil 7 did amazing. I feel like yeah, they do know, Capcom knows that VR is a big industry, but no one's going to invest millions and millions into it knowing that it isn't worth the money, because if only 1 million people have headsets and you spend 24 million in a game, then yeah, you're not going to go, oh yes, let's put it in VR. You're not going to make any money. So Valve did an incredible thing and released Half-Life Alyx, which I think brung 1 million users to the platform, because you get a free copy of Half-Life Alyx with Valve Index, but you do need a good PC for it. So yes, I'd say at least an £800 one. So yeah, that's a con, but luckily AAA games are slowly making their way to VR. As I said, Resident Evil 7 was an amazing VR game. Boneworks wasn't like full AAA, but Stress Level Zero knows that their industry is in VR, and that is incredible because we get good games like Duck Season, Boneworks, and yeah, VR can have a little bit of a cult following. You do learn the phrases VR for like boy who's pretending to be a girl in something like VR chat or Rec Room, you call him a trap and stuff like that. Yeah, which you eventually just learn, oh, don't trust them. People seem to also think that there's no point to VR because it's too expensive, and that's what my mum thought. But now she always goes, oh, bring the VR down, let me go on a roller coaster. That does wind me up, and I'm like, no, I have Beat Saber, I have Vader Immortal, please play that instead, it is good quality. She's like, no roller coaster, which I guess if you enjoy them, they're okay, but yeah, VR roller coasters aren't where it's at. If you've seen the film Ready Player One, if VR could get to that point, it would be amazing. I'm talking about omnidirectional treadmills, the whole amazing quality headsets, where you can have no light leakage whatsoever. If you don't know what light leakage is, it's basically when you put on a VR headset, does light leak through the bottom of the top, and that can sometimes ruin your game. VR headsets can be a little undurable. My PlayStation VR has a little crack at the top, and if you do use a VR headset in the sun, it will burn the lens and kill your headset. I'm telling you, unless it is very dimly light, do not use an Oculus Quest or anything outside, and put your lens covering on if it's in the sun, because your VR headset will break. That brings us to my conclusion. I know. Is VR worth it? It depends what you're doing. If you want a social platform and with a medium category of games, basically, if you buy a VR headset, you are a beta tester. It will get better. It is getting better. If you compare how quickly VR has gone from basically nothing but little indie titles to we're starting to get first party, we're getting big AAA games. That's what I was supposed to say. We're getting AAA games. If you want to become a great beta tester, if you want to, it's amazing party trick basically. Do I recommend VR in that case? Yes. If you do want high quality immersion, yes. If you want the Ready Player One experience, you're gonna have to wait. We are not at that point yet, but we have VR haptic suits for £500. They used to be costing £2,000, going down to £500. Treadmills, VR treadmills, used to be £3,000. Now they're slowly going down to £1,000 and even £600 for a fully fledged working one. I assume the VR industry is going up so quickly. Do I recommend getting one now? I recommend VR headsets. I currently recommend are the HTC Vive if you want PC VR but have a very small budget. A Oculus Quest if you want wireless on the go VR. But if you want a Oculus Quest, wait, because leaks suggest that a new one is coming soon that will be cheaper and better. So save for that if you want VR. PlayStation VR, if you have a PC, do not get this. If you have the money for an Oculus Quest, do not get this. I would recommend saving up for even a HTC Vive. But if you can afford a Valve Index, absolutely, it is worth every single penny for the amazing tracking, the amazing everything, graphics, controllers. When you put all your fingers down in VR, in real life, all your fingers go down in VR. I 100% recommend Valve Index if you can afford it. I don't have one, but I've watched so many videos. The only problem is it starts to wear out, but Valve does give free replacements. So, do I recommend VR? Yes. Is it to the point of Ready Player One? No. It's growing very quickly. I keep stressing this market for VR is growing. People want VR headsets to socialize. People want VR classrooms. Imagine how cool it would be if you could have a VR classroom and your teacher could just place like a random theme park outside the class for like break. You could just go out there, or you could just get something to eat and come back to the class. Imagine how cool it would be if she could just grow a theme park outside the classroom, put out a door, go, if you want to go here, here it is. Or there's new experiences where you can go in cinemas and watch 4K films in VR because official people like Warner Brothers and stuff are giving their license out. It costs like £3 to go watch a film in VR with a bunch of people. You can of course mute the people, but if you want to just talk to your friend in VR, you can do that, and there won't be interruptions if you don't want any. So imagine if your teacher went, okay, it's lunchtime, you can either go out for lunch or quickly watch this film. Like if you had an hour break and you got to go watch something like the Minions with your whole school. Imagine how fun that would be if you was all in VR and just got to watch a film in VR with your friends, like, and the schools gave away VR headsets for stuff. That would be amazing. Just think about that for a second. Every single day your teacher's just being able to do it for little money, like £30 for the highlight of a kid's day for the whole school. Is it that bad? Like, for a whole class, I mean. Imagine how cool it would be to just go to a theme park with your friends in class and just do your learning, go to a theme park, explore the whole place. Your teacher just teleports everyone back and gets you in the classroom and puts stuff on the whiteboards, and it zooms you in to see it properly. That would be amazing. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please, like, if anyone knows how to program something like that where you can just spawn a cinema outside, like, I think it's a certain cinema game, but if your teacher could just load you into that, or load you into a free theme park where you just get to run around, explore, or even a paintball game, laser tag, in VR with your class, that would be amazing. Hope you have enjoyed. Buy a VR headset, and I'll see you guys next time.